Make sure to welcome people to the podcast, the 14th of the podcast series, where you get to talk about anything and anything. We get to talk about literally anything as long as it's appropriate. Yeah, as long as it's appropriate, man. We just gotta make sure that, it's appropriate for everyone that's listening out there. I don't even know why I was talking like that. But, I hope that you have a good Friday so far. Welcome to podcast number 14. Man, it's strange to see how many podcasts we have done so far. Like, of everything that we have been, doing. So, how is everybody doing? I hope you're having a good day. We do have some topics. Yes. Topics. Like a hot topic. Because they're so hot that they're just a topic. So, welcome. Alright, so, first off, first off, I want to say thank you for the people that followed me yesterday for watching Mario Maker 2. Really appreciate, them guys up there, Retrobert AC, Comicat 365 Gaming, and Kidson. Thank you very much. Hopefully you will watch other streams like this one, maybe. That's not just Mario Maker 2 stuff. But yeah, we're gonna kick things off. Kick things off. Kick it off. Kicking off on the TNL podcast. Dun dun dun. Where we get to talk about anything. Dun dun dun. So many topics to choose from. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Alright, so we have been talking about movies here. Everybody likes movies. Everybody like to, sit down on the couch and just get some of that popcorn, some Cheez-Its, probably some Oreos, maybe a glass of milk, maybe some Doritos, and some Mountain Dew. Or unless that's gaming fuel. Yeah, sure. Sure. It's like sure, it's like when you're sure, but you don't know if you're sure, but you're trying to be sure of the sure, but you don't know if you're actually sure, but you're trying to be sure of the sure. I'm already making no sense. Got it. Didn't know until I know now. I was making complete nonsense of myself. Yes. So, we're gonna talk about DreamWorks. Yes, DreamWorks. Everyone knows DreamWorks because at least everybody at least seen Shrek. Or at least heard of Shrek or even watched one of their movies. Shrek is DreamWorks animation for some of those that don't know or maybe be living under a nice rock with Patrick Star. Whatever the case may be. We're gonna be sticking to DreamWorks animation films. We're gonna stick with all of their animation films, some of their classics, some of their hot garbage. And you can also see my opinion on it, and hopefully we get other people's opinions on it, of how they feel about DreamWorks. Yeah. Yeah, let's get this show on the road. Road. So there are 39 DreamWorks animation movies. They're almost to, they almost have 40 movies. 40! That is like a crap ton of movies, my dude. Like, that is like so much movies that you could probably watch in your whole entire lifetime. To think about it. Hey, we used to do this before we even, if any of y'all have seen the TNL ministry history, I did a whole sermon series about that. And we did the DreamWorks films before we did the merge. And we could technically go back to that. I forgot what movie we left off on before Christmas. I'm forgetting which movie, but we can also do that. After the Pixar movies, after the Marvel movie franchise, since we're almost done with that, and then we could go on to the Pixar, and then to DreamWorks. Everybody likes DreamWorks, right? I'm saying that now as like, and I'm like, hey. It's like, hey. So, I'm going to talk about, like, my least to my favorite. And we're going to start off with Shark Tale. No movie has come this worse, in my opinion. Shark Tale was like, it's stupid. And I'm gonna say for most of these DreamWorks movies, stupid. It has a bunch of pop culture jokes in it. It's just, I mean, Shark Tale. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, you're in the middle of the podcast.
I know.
Okay.
I want to be able to listen and say stuff, so I did it like this.
Sure. I don't know if they'll be able to hear you.
Okay.
But yeah, Shark Tale was just a bunch of pop culture. It's just the storyline sucks. If I remember it correctly, it sucked. It would, like, I don't even know how to describe that. Shark Tale sucks. Worst DreamWorks movie, animation. No one has become this worse than Shark Tale. And I will stand behind that with everything that I have. Here is a movie that some people actually like. I sort of do, sort of don't. And like I said, we're looking at the 39 DreamWorks movies, alright? We're looking at the whole list. And we're only on 38. We're only on 38. Simbad. Honestly, it did have some good animation. And a good story, but the thing is, it's just trying to get, because this is supposed to be a kid movie, right? To me, this looks more of adult movie. It doesn't have any, like, it's not like rated A for adults or rated R. You know, this is a PG movie. This is PG. I'm pretty sure. And it's I like, the thing is that I like, this is kind of like what's the movie I'm looking at, like one of those kind of mythology movies, kind of like Hercules, where you have, you have the goddess in the movie. I'm forgetting her name, and like I like movies like this, but it's just, if we really want to come down to it, it will not, this movie will not appeal to younger kids. Shrek, that's for younger kids. Actually, for all ages. Really good film. But I don't think this will please the kids. That's the thing with Simbad. I don't think it will please the kids or get the kids' attention. If that's understandable. Okay, so let's move on to 37. This movie apparently is getting a freaking sequel. Yes, a sequel. Yeah, a sequel. Can you imagine that? A sequel to the terrible movie? It's terrible. It's awful. It is like this movie, and I don't even know who comes up saying like, "Hey, this movie did pretty good. Let's actually make a sequel to this. Let's actually make this into a franchise." And this sequel, the movie, I'm just now looking at it, is supposed to release later this year. You know who's not going to see it? This dude right here. And you probably don't even know what movie I'm talking about. Boss Baby. Don't see it. I am serious. Do not see it. Do not even look at it. Don't even touch it. Don't even smell it. It's not hurting anyone. It's not doing anyone. It sucks. It forever will suck. I will die on this hill. Because some people say, oh, this is a good movie. No. I'm sorry. No. Like, you have a bunch of duty jokes. Is that supposed to be funny? Is that really supposed to be funny? Almost during the whole entire movie. I'm not even making this up. During the whole movie is a bunch of duty jokes. Let's make some poop jokes here and there. Don't go see it. Terrible movie. Terrible. We're moving on. I can't. There's a sequel. I'm like shocked. Like you would think that maybe they'll look at it and be like, oh, this movie didn't do well. We should probably stop and not make a movie about it. And it's just, I don't know. It sucks. Anyway, let's move on and not talk about Boss Baby. Yeah. Okay. Apparently, some people like this movie. and it is a sequel. How do I feel about this movie? It sucked. Even if it got pushed back because of coronavirus, it's not a good movie. That's Trolls World Tour. Alright, if you want to think about this, alright, it has colorful animation, you know, and there are some good songs in there. But the thing is, it's not that good. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of artists and probably put a lot of work into this movie. And it was an a okay film. Is it rewatchable? No. It was not rewatchable. This movie, like trying to save like rock music. We need to play music to save the music. Oh my gosh, music with the music. Is that not confusing enough? It's me. You know what this movie is? Music drenched by fairy tales. That's what this movie is, and it's not a good one. All right, 35. Some people consider this as a classic. Some people actually like this movie. It's Road to El Dorado. Now listen. I know. Probably people will say that is too low to be on the list. That is very, very low. You need to understand that it is such a classic film. It is fun to watch. You know, this, like I said, was the Sin one. The kids ain't gonna get, you know, this movie either. You know, it's kind of the same thing. Like you have, let's say, some people wanted this movie to be really successful than it already is, and it is fun to watch. It's just not strong enough. It's not. It has a weak plot to it. Is probably what I said. Probably what I should have said about the Simbad. Like you have all these awesome characters, you know. You have all this awesome actors, and then you have this weak plot, and part of it doesn't even make sense. It's like, okay, how does this happen to get to here? So it's more, like I said, kids ain't going to get this movie. You know, it's rated PG. It is a PG movie, like I said with the Simbad. But the thing is that adults can probably understand this movie better than kids. And that's just some of the DreamWorks movies. Next movie. I don't give a crap about this movie. This movie was so boring. That's Spirit Stalin of the Cimarron, if I am pronouncing that right. It's dumb to me. I can care less about this movie. You know, DreamWorks. Let me get this. DreamWorks Animation. They have some good animation films. Good animation, not animation films, but good animation all around, just like with Pixar movies. You know, with the good dinosaur, like the way it looks beautiful. It looks very, very beautiful, and same can be here with DreamWorks. You know, some of these classic films can look really gorgeous, but have a crappy storyline. Like, how should I put this? It's just, I just don't get this movie. I don't get why a lot of people seem to like this movie. I could care less about two horses on their endeavor and venture. And that will probably always be a me thing. Okay, I might get a lot of hate for this. Hopefully not a whole lot. But hear me out. Everybody loves Madagascar films, or at least heard of them. They are under DreamWorks. This is Penguins of Madagascar. Penguins, I love the penguins. I love them, I love them, I love them, dear to my heart. But this movie sucked. There was like, it's no classic. It's got a kind of crappy storyline to it. You know, it's a lack of them, of what you see during the like first and second and third Madagascar films. It's lacking when you finally get to see their own movie, and it's just lacking in so many ways. Like the Minions movie, it was lacking so many ways. Like, you're building them up to seem like, hey, they should have their own movie, and here comes the movie, and here comes the suckage with it. Like, it's just, it didn't seem like their movie. To me, in my eyes, it didn't seem like their movie. And we haven't even got to the rewatchable period, because I can't consider most of these DreamWorks movies, most of these that I'm listing off right now, I don't even consider them rewatchable. Hear me out. Rewatchable is a strong term to use. Alright, next movie. B movie. If anybody watched this movie, tear your eyes out. Rip them out. Bathe them. Wash them. Take the movie. Burn it. I should have put this movie lower. I should probably put this movie a little bit but you have a bee interacting with a human. Like, no. Like it's just stupid. So like, this is bees, this is how they work. Let's show them, their workspace. Here we go. This is what we gotta do as, this, as a bee. Woo. And it's not even funny. It's not. It's like, I can understand that this will probably please to the kids, because they don't understand this. But this movie sucked so much. I feel like they were high when they made this movie. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like what could be a good movie? Let's have a bee talk to a human and fall in love with a human. Oh, that's a great idea. Let's write that down to paper. It's like if I were to make a movie, right? If I sit there and got high, I'm gonna say this dude fell in love with Maneuver. That's the same thing. Literally. It's trash. And it stinks. Avoid it at all costs. Now this movie, my little brother used to love this and watch this several times, and I did not get the appeal of this movie. I don't know if he likes it now. Like, to be honest, I do kind of like the story in this. I don't even know how to put it. This is Home, by the way, if anybody even remembers that movie. My little brother, when he was young, watched that so many times. It was getting to a point where I know from beginning to end. That's how much he would watch this movie. And it's just... I'm trying to figure out the way to put this. Besides saying it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. But, like, the animation is good. There's some stupid things in there, sure. It's just... To me, it's not rewatchable. Some people will say that this movie is good, and it's colorful. Like I said, the movie, the animation is colorful, but the story, the plot, is predictable. That's probably the word I'm looking for. Predictable. We're not even halfway done with this list. Oh my gosh, why did I talk about DreamWorks? I don't even know. Alright, let's move on to the next movie. Yeah, the next movie. Some people love this movie. And the sequel came out, and I will say that the sequel is a little bit better than this movie. Both of them are not rewatchable by any means. It's the Croods. The Croods, and the next one I was going to talk about, the Croods A New Age. It has its good moments. Very humoring. You know, telling the Stone Age of these people. But my issue is that it was not funny at all. It felt boring. You know, everybody likes Flintstones, right? Flintstones is 10 times better than this trash. 10 times better. Don't watch it. Like, it has its good moments. Like I said, it's visually with this adventure. You know, you have these great characters telling of people within the Stone Age. But it felt boring and dry. It's probably the best way to put it. In a New Age, you're probably thinking, why would I put that over the original? Because it improved in areas of the original. It actually improved in some areas. But it's just... Both of these are just not rewatchable. Like, even though there's some improvements... Like, if you haven't watched it, if any of these DreamWorks movies, if you haven't watched it in a long time, it's probably best to rewatch them. But, yeah, it's not rewatchable. I'm sorry. It was a pleasant surprise that I actually found this a little bit better than the original. I would say that at the very least about the New Age. Because in my mind, I was thinking this is going to suck. This is going to be worse than the regular Croods. But honestly, I would say the New Age is better and an improvement in some areas. But still not even rewatchable. And then you have the original Trolls. Where do I begin on this one? Hey, at least there's not no stupid music in it. Amen. Amen. Come on, everybody. Amen. There ain't that stupid music. It's... I will say this, though. You know, during the whole movie, all I could think about was eating candy. I'm being honest here. You're sitting here watching Trolls, right? And they look like pieces of candy with legs. I didn't mention that in the World Tour one, but they look like little pieces of like gummy bears. You know, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, or like gummy worms, and they just like put little legs on them, and there you go. It's I don't know. It's it made me want candy. I'll say that. But it is better than the World Tour one. It does have its moments. You know, it's kids are like I'm not gonna. I'm saying this right now. Kids will probably love this movie. I don't. It's just I can't tell which one's worse, this or the Smurfs. I don't know. I'll come back after thinking about that. But that's why I put Trolls, by the way. Alright, next up is Monster vs. Aliens. I remember watching this movie. Okay, cool. I don't even know what happened. That's gonna suck of me editing this. I'm gonna have to try to find a way to put both of these videos together. Thanks, OBS. Oh, that's gonna suck to edit. Oh, that's gonna suck to edit. Oh, no. We'll see when we get there. I'm gonna have to do maybe like part 1 and part 2. Maybe. But this before OBS decides to go poof, because probably OBS will see this too and maybe say, why did you put my favorite movie down on the list? That's probably what OBS did to me. A lot of people love this movie. And I'm saying love with a strong word. It is Madagascar 1. Yeah, y'all probably already cut me off and said, yeah, we're done. We're not listening to you. Bye-bye. Uh-huh. Okay, first off, this movie is not rewatchable as people claim it to be. Yeah, I know where I'm getting into. I know where I'm getting myself into. I know what hole I'm digging myself into right now. But yes, even though you haven't seen me say the second one or the third one, they're much better than this movie. I don't know if you'll agree with me on that one or not. But it's when you rewatch it, the humor is kind of like a hit or miss. It's either gonna really make you laugh, or you just not get the joke entirely. You know, as visual, it's good. You know, it kept me entertained as a child. You know, but you might think that these movies from your childhood is like the best thing, but once you rewatch it, it's a whole different story. I'm pretty sure you at least grew up with Madagascar. Go watch it as an adult, come back to me, and tell me what you think of it. I would love to hear what you have to say. Another movie which I thought this was going to be. I remember having a hype for this movie. I remember wanting to go see it, and then rewatching it. It's just, it had a so and so story. I like the villain. I remember liking the villain, but like, I love the fantasy. You probably don't even know what movie I'm talking about right now. It is Rise of the Guardians. If some people don't remember it, where Jack Frost meets the other people, the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus. All them. It's almost like an action animated hero movie. Okay, but the thing is that it just was a so-and-so story. Like, that's what gets to me. Like, it wasn't... Like, you get lost in these characters. You probably would, probably not fall in love, but really like these characters. And really to start to develop your time with those characters. But the story can seem not that great. In my opinion. I still have a crap ton to go. Shoot me. Not for real though. Don't shoot me. Alright. Next movie we have on our list is Shrek the Third. I love Shrek movies. Shrek the Third did not make any sense. I'm sorry. It's you have these pulp culture. Okay. You have this storyline. It sucks. You have this Merlin, you have this wizard. I don't even know if many of y'all remember this, but there was a wizard in the movie. Merlin. Like Arnold did die in this movie. That was a sad, that was touching. This movie just really sucks. It's just not a good movie. It's not. It sucks. It blows. It's yeah, no. And then we all like Shrek movies, Forever After. Now, this was a little bit of an improvement over Shrek the Third. You have a great feeling. I love the feeling in this movie. That's probably the only thing that I can say about this movie, is that it has a good feeling. But this movie was very, like I said with Toy Story 4, remember me saying it was unnecessary? But overall, a good movie, and it wasn't needed. Shrek Forever After was unnecessary, but it was better than Shrek the Third. It was not needed. It was very unnecessary. There has been rumors. Before I go to the next movie, there has been rumors that there was either going to be a Shrek 5 or a reboot of this series. Now, I don't know if that will ever came to thing. I don't even know if that will ever came to pass. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but it was rumored. This movie, now you might be thinking, how can you put a racist snail over Shrek Third and Forever After? Because it tried to have a story and it tried to get kids in it. That's the thing. You know, even though it was like, it was stupid. You know, you have these snails racing on a NASCAR against other cars. You know, and it's fun to kids. You know, kids really would love this movie. You know, but when you watch it as an adult, that's a different whole entire story. Watching it as an adult, because when you watch this as an adult, you probably say that this movie is stupid. Like there is some good laughs. Not gonna say it's not. It is a little bit colorful. Not gonna say it's not there either. You have some good actors in there. But it's just it's more of a kids thing than adults. I don't want to compare this to Cars. Because Cars make Turbo looks like trash. I don't know if I want to put Cars 2 over Turbo. That's a whole different story. Maybe I will actually. Maybe I will. Maybe I will put Cars 2 over Turbo. But it's just like it's like racing snails. It's just not rewatchable. Yeah. Moving on, because I don't want to be here forever. A movie, this is slowly starting to be at least a little bit rewatchable. Not a whole lot, but we're coming out of territory where these movies suck. Okay, we're done with the suckage. You know, most of the suckage. All those movies that I meant, we're done with them. So we're moving on a little bit, and we're gonna start with Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Now, I have never seen the show. I didn't know that there was a show. I didn't even know that at all. It did. The thing about this film is that it's kind of a confusing plot. You know, it's trying to make it really cool and really epic. Which it did, and it tried. And, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just, what you have the plot, you know, doing something, then all of a sudden this, and also with this, it is fast moving. I wish it took its time to develop someone that's new to Mr. Peabody and Sherman. You know, if you're new just like me, I feel like they should take their time a little bit slow. You know, that is what I wish it did. But that's all I can say with Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Now here we come with movies these are the movies that at least maybe deserves rewatchable. Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. This movie is very stupid but very funny. I would say Madagascar 2 is better. And that is literally the next one on my list. The third one is just it's silly enough for younger audience than for adults. But even going back rewatching it as an adult, you can really appreciate it. You know, because it's a good family movie. You know, because you have them going on a circus, you know, performing all this with Katy Perry fireworks song, like at the end. That's probably the best scene out of the whole movie. But I would have to say Escape to Africa is a lot better because you're going back to its idea instead of in the circus talking to people and stuff like that. Even though I don't remember them trying to talk to people. I don't remember, but it kind of explains the I think it's, if I remember, Alex, you know, of his earlier life, and that is something that I liked. You know, I like when they go back and try to develop this character. And I like that. But the thing is that with a lot of the other movies that I talk about, remember me saying pop culture? There's too much pop culture in this movie as well. But to be honest, I would say that it is the best Madagascar film. You know, you have the Moto Moto song. I mean, you have Motive Moto. Okay, you have Moto Moto. That's all I'm gonna say. This movie, I think it's underrated, and I think it went under the radar. Is Abominable. Now, not a lot of people may have seen this movie, or maybe even forgot that this movie even exists. It's like it's a very good story. I'm not going to get into it because like I said, I feel like this is very underrated. I'm not saying that this is the best movie, but it is somewhat rewatchable. Like I said, these are somewhat rewatchable lists. You know, we're getting into somewhat rewatchable. Well, this is somewhat rewatchable, and it's just like The thing that's not high enough because it kind of likes the personality of the Abominable. But I think it's underrated. For some people that have not seen it or heard of it, I would say at least give it a shot. Because I didn't expect this movie to surprise me and shock me to be this good. It's way better than Trolls World Tour. I'll say that at the very, 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 very least. Yes. Megamind. Who remember this movie? Nobody? Okay. Megamind. This movie was... It's... You have it with the superpowers, like, from Incredibles, but you also have this stupid villain from, like, Despicable Me. You know, and the villain kind of turns into a hero, and it's like, it's a good movie. I'm gonna say that at the very least. This is a good movie. It's not as best, it's not as strong as other movies that I'm gonna be listing, but there is some emotional and I haven't mentioned the other emotional things in other movies, but this one can kind of touch you on an emotional level. It's a good movie. All right, a classic, and this is very fiery hot. This is kind of high on the list. Prince of Egypt. Now, some of those Christians out there, and I'm going to be in this boat. This is probably the best Christian film out there. I'm not even going to lie. Like, you have this beautiful artwork, beautiful art style of telling of Moses. You know, leaving the people out of Egypt, you know, through the Red Sea. You know, the animation is, like, spot on. You know, it's like, whew. I probably will say this. This is probably the best looking animated films ever made. Maybe not ever made, but it tells, like, especially to kids or people that may not, you know, look at this. You could even, like, this could be a Sunday school lesson here. I could probably turn this movie into a lesson right now. Nah. But it's just, this movie is just on a whole different level. Alright, so moving on next. This is Puss and Boots. I love the origin tales, and I love when they decide to get their own movies. This is better than Penguins in Madagascar, because you're still getting his character, and you're getting his origin story. The Penguins is kind of all over the place. It's literally kind of just, we're just gonna throw a dart here, and hopefully it sticks, hopefully it lands, hopefully it's there. But here, it's like, you get to see his, you know, his adventure before seeing him in Shrek 2, I believe. You know. You know, and you gotta remember, all he cared about was money. Like, it just, like, it's a good movie all around. You know, I keep saying that these movies are somewhat rewatchable. I feel like I should just say rewatchable. It is very, very good. Moving on to Kung Fu Panda 3. Yes, we're finally getting into another franchise that they have, and it is Kung Fu Panda. Um, and I'm doing the third one.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
I kind of forgot you were there. But I don't know if I want to consider this as the full conclusion to the storyline of Jack Black being this well, it's Jack Black with this dragon warrior and being reunited with his father. Like I like, and it was building up, like during the whole movies, it was building up to that point. You gotta think about it. It was building and building and building up. But the thing is that it's just, I don't know. It feels like it could be better in areas. Because the first two was better in my opinion. Speaking of Kung Fu Panda, let's go to Kung Fu. No, not yet. Not yet. I was thinking about it. Let's talk about this movie before I do Kung Fu Panda. Who remembers Over the Hedge? If you watched this when you were little or growing up, you have these animals going around stealing food from the people to feed a hungry, aggressive bear that the raccoon ticked off. That is the movie. I would have to say that it was cool. I love seeing, like, you know, these like woodland critters. Probably the best thing to say. But it's just that the ending is stupid, if I remember correctly. It's just stupid. And then here comes Kung Fu Panda 2. Remember me talking about in my sermons, I mentioned inner peace? Yeah, it's literally from this movie. It is literally from this movie. This movie is great. It is awesome. You're continuing his story. I'm not gonna say that it's better than the first film, but this was a worthy sequel. You know, and you getting all these flashbacks of him saying, like, what happened to me all of a sudden. Like, this is the build up to 3. This was the whole build up to 3, even according to the first one. But it's just a great movie. Rewatchable. Go watch it. Now, this movie, I will die on the hill for putting this so high. I honestly grew up even reading the books. When I was very, very little. Captain Underpants. Listen. That movie can be very, very stupid. But the thing is that it brought nostalgia to me. This literally felt like the books. It's you know, you have a titty plot, you have humor, which was there. I wouldn't consider it was funny to me. You have this clean animation, you know, and it's just it was starting off with this comic book style, like with Spider-Man into the Spider Universe. Some people say, like, this movie did not deserve to be this way up. This movie is really, really great. Really, really good. Really, really like it. Now we're about to finally get into probably one of my favorite franchise. in the DreamWorks. How to Train Your Dragon. Now, the 3 movies, phenomenal, rewatchable, love them, dear to my heart. And the one I'm going to talk about is The Hidden World. This feels like the ultimate conclusion. I would love to see a 4th film. Because at the end of this film, you get to see his kids sitting there being introduced to these dragons because they have to say goodbye to these dragons because they've been hunting for so long. And that's why it's called The Hidden World, because it's hidden. And it's just, I would love to see a 4th. I love How to Train Your Dragon series. I love them, and I will die on this hill saying that, maybe. Hopefully not. But anyway, let's go to the next movie. This is the very first, I had to look this up. Very first DreamWorks movie, and it is Ants. This is not a kid-friendly film, even though PG has it. This talks a good bit of politics and workers. I mean, how should I put this? I'm not going to say that this is not for kids. I mean, there is jokes for kids. But the thing is that they won't get most of this. They won't get most of this. And it's just, it's more appealing to adults than it is for kids. Even though, it's supposed to be a kid movie, and it is, don't get me wrong, but I would have to say this is more pleasing to adults. And this was their first DreamWorks animation film. Okay, this was their first film to ever release. And it was a phenomenal film. Full of good, action-packed, brought to the realm, good film. And we're almost done. Next movie is Kung Fu Panda. The first Kung Fu Panda. And I remember rewatching this. I'm going to say this right now. Before I forget. There's something that I learned when I rewatched Kung Fu Panda. And I don't think anybody, I don't know how many people knew this. Because I sure heck didn't. I'll be right now. I sure as heck didn't. Did you know that Jackie Chan is in this movie? Did you know that Jackie Chan was in this movie? He was that monkey. You have Tigress, you have Mantis, you have the Viper, you have Crane, and then you have Monkey. I never knew Jackie Chan was in this movie. That's probably the only thing that, because it's a good movie, but something to help you if you never knew that. Just saying. Flushed Away. Aardman Animations. We're finally getting into one of them. Their animation, their claymation, I love it. Okay, I love their animation style. With the Chicken Run, with the Wallace and Gromit series. I love their animation. It's so cool, it's unique, it's very hard to do. Clay animation is not as I would probably consider is not an easy task to fulfill. It is not. But then we gotta look at the story. You got this rat that's being flushed away and then trying to save a life. It's just a very good film. Very good film. Alright, now we're going to get to the first movie, How to Train Your Dragon. The first one, mind you. The second one is the best one in my opinion, and I will get to that later. I don't know what else to say that I haven't said about How to Train Your Dragon. Watch all three of them if you haven't, please. Thank you. Alright, moving on. I don't know what else to say about it. Finally, Shrek is coming back. Shrek 2. Shrek is the original is very, very better. But you got to meet like Puss and Boots, Eddie Murphy being a butthole like he always is because he's playing Donkey, you know. But you know, it may not be better than the original, but heck, this is a great sequel. Great sequel. Great movie. Great movie. Alright, now we're going to get into How to Train Your Dragon 2, because I know somebody's going to say that. Why is that one your favorite? This is a very, I would say emotional. I'm going to say that right now. It is like you have them finally saying like, hey, we can learn dragons now. We got this. But you still have people out there that wants to defeat dragons, and you have this all-powerful that and like this. I would say this is very emotional and also a little bit dark. And when I say dark, I meant like it kind of goes dark. But I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody that has not watched it. But this is the best out of all the movie. You know, I will have to say this is the best. All right, moving on. We only have 3 movies left. I'm curious of how I'm going to edit all this, since OBS decides to. I hate that. Hopefully, it'll let me tape both of them and combine them. But let's go in to the last 3 movies. All right, number 3 is the original Shrek. Somebody once told me. Okay, no, I'm not gonna sing this song. But that hit. You know, DreamWorks didn't know that movie will make them a hit. You know, and a lot of people, including myself, loved the original Shrek. I would honestly see I would like to see a reboot of the series, honestly. But I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I really don't know. Number 2, Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I love Wallace and Gromit. You know, their TV show. I remember being at Blockbuster renting their it was like I think it was like 4 or 5 TV shows on like one movie. You know, one disc. And I remember renting that sucker. And I remember we me and my family used to go to their friend's house, and their family had that movie. And I would watch it almost all the time because it's such a good movie. Now, my number 1. And it's supposed to be rumored of a sequel finally. A sequel. If you want to be real. That is Chicken Run. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This movie is just it was like a matter of life or death for the chickens to escape Tweety's chicken farm. Like, it was life or death situation. You know, and seeing the chickens, you know, run through a failed escape attempt after another, you know, it's just like they wanted to get out of the place, and it's just, I love seeing that. And there's supposed to be a sequel, rumored, by the way, for probably a good bit. And at the end of the movie, they're on their island, they have their, I guess, babies, and I would love to see where this movie comes in. I would love to see where it goes. I think it deserves a sequel. I really do. You know, I don't want it to be like, oh, someone needs to take care of the, like, a human needs to come to the island or anything like that. I think maybe Tweety all of a sudden, like, said something and was going after the chickens and like, maybe said that she wants them dead. Like, no bullcrap, nothing. I would say that would be a great sequel. But those are my top 39 DreamWorks films. That was a lot. I may have briefly go over some of them, but I think I got the gist of all the movies. Babe, are you still there?
Yeah.
What is your opinion of my list?
I haven't seen a lot of them.
Oh, you haven't seen a lot of them. Alright, so she can't say much. But yeah, those are DreamWorks movies. Yay! This was a long podcast. Probably not longer than others. I forgot which one, how long it cut me off on the other podcast. Probably not long, since I started like at 4, so about an hour 13 minutes. But yeah, those are DreamWorks movies. Those are how I feel. Those are like my top picks. You know, I went from the hot garbage ones to rewatchable, well, somewhat rewatchable. Now I went entirely rewatchable. You know, right when I get to top 10, it's like definitely rewatchable. Like How to Train Your Dragon series, definitely rewatchable. Like 100%. But yeah, I hope you like this podcast for today, even though we just talked about DreamWorks movies. We could talk about other movies in the next podcast, or we could just change it up and talk about something completely different. But yeah, I will see you guys, girls, in the next podcast. I hope you enjoy these whenever you are actually listening to these, whether it be on Twitch or on YouTube. Wherever you're listening on this, I hope you enjoyed this kick. Hopefully it brought some nostalgia to you. Hopefully maybe it wants you to rewatch some DreamWorks classic films. Who knows? But until then, I will see you guys, the girls, next time on the next podcast for next week.